Hi, welcome to a video where I'm going to showcase a particular Pokemon in competitive Great League. It's a Pokemon I've actually never used myself. It's a Pokemon that I kinda hate, and you probably do as well. It's Bastiodon. I've never used Bastiodon before, but I wanted to showcase it and to try it. The thing with Bastiodon is that it's very RPS. It has hard wins and hard losses, right? You don't want hard losses, you want the hard wins. So it's kind of a gamble there. The one thing I found with Bastiodon, even if you're not using it, it has so much bench pressure on Charmers and Flyers, which really frees up Swampert, Medicham, and Trevenant. Altaria not so much because Bastiodon really pulled out those G-Fisks. I think someone with a G-Fist probably used it every single game against me. Let's take a look at this first matchup here. My opponent is triple weak to Bastiodon with Altaria, Cresselia, should be neutral but it really isn't, and Araquanid. They have double ground to answer that though, so that's kind of iffy, but I do have a Medicham. Bastiodon and Medicham makes such a good core, as you might know from the Go Battle League. Only Runerigas at the moment really core breaks that. Let's take a look at this. I sped them up quite some because these battles took really long sometimes with Bastiodon. Here we go, Bastiodon into Cresselia. This is a good lead for me. This should be somewhat neutral, right? Usually, like against Empoleon, Cresselia actually wins because it charges really fast, it has really good bulk, and Grass Knot is neutral. But Bastiodon, you're not gonna get it that easy. You're not going to get him that easy because the Psycho Cuts resisted don't do anything, and the Grass Knots don't either. As you can see, Bastiodon dominates Cresselia, one of the bulkiest Pokemons in the Great League, one of the most flexible Pokemons in the Great League, one of the hardest to counter probably in the Great League. But Bastiodon does it. Bastiodon does it. G-Fist doesn't even do it that well. Trevenant and Sableye still take hard hits. Kofa might do it just as well as Basti, really, but other than that, nah, nothing really does it as well as Basti. I even come out with energy. They swap in their G-Fisk, and they come in with an Araquanid after. So now my Medi will be aligned to the G-Fisk, so this should be very good here. Actually, I didn't really expect my opponent to shield here because I have a Bastiodon still, right? But they decide to shield anyway. A lot of Araquanid users tend to shield the first move simply because Araquanid wins most matchups in the two shields just by bubble beaming, so they usually can just force regardless if they shield the first hard hitting move. I think I was a bit indecisive there on what to do. It doesn't really matter anyway. He's gonna throw like bubble beams. They're super effective but do nothing, and then I take it out, and then we'll have the Medicham on that G-Fizz. Actually, I'll throw a flamethrower first, which is debuffed. This does nothing. Just like moves do nothing on Bastiodon, his moves don't do much either. So there's that, but it's fine. Right now I have two shields. I will no shield this Earthquake, just in case it's a Rock Slide. There's no need to shield that really. I think my opponent goes for a Rock Slide here, so I no shield by instinct. It's not necessary to flex like that here, but I recognize it was a Rock Slide. So yeah. Good alignment there. Again, if you don't have your Bastion, the G-Fist there, it would get very messy. Take a look at the second matchup here. Also, if you ever think that Cresselia can handle Basti so-so, you're dead wrong. You really are dead wrong. It could be a good Bastiodon bait out, but it cannot win it. There's no way. The next matchup is against Problems IRL, who is weak to Bastiodon with Altaria and Frostlass. It's very good against it. It actually can puts up a very good fight against Lickitung as well. I believe you beat Lickitung even with a shield down as Bastiodon. Venusaur depends on your attack. I believe a Bastiodon master once told me, Jason 2890, he's on leaderboards frequently as well. He knows everything about Bastiodon, and he told me I think that you need 3 or 4 attacks to hit a break point against Venusaur, so you beat it consistently in the 2 shields. My Bastiodon, a very high ranked, I believe a rank 11, does not do that. Rank 11 or 13, I don't remember. Either way, Since Altaria is very precious here, I somewhat like my Swampert, but since they have Venusaur, this becomes very tricky. Hopefully, my Trevenant can put in work. But then again, Lickitung is probably good for them as well. Let's take a look. I lead Trev into Frostless. This is a decent matchup for me. They only win the zeros. I'm not gonna throw just yet. They tried to catch a Shadow Ball, and I answered this Lickitung save swap with my Bastiodon. Now, as boring as this matchup might be, you just need to see real quick for yourself how good Bastiodon is here. Medicham, not a really good counter this. Surfetch Champ, you let one move go, they can flip it. Bastiodon takes this matchup. I don't mean to spread Bastiodon propaganda here, don't get me wrong, but it's just so satisfying when it does the job. Right, especially when you use it for the first time. Those Power Whips don't do anything here. My next stab, Stone Edge, comes in, which will do a reasonable chunk to this Lickitung. Bam! I think I will definitely survive another Power Whip. The licks are adding up though, which is kind of annoying. Because they can actually flip this at this point. It really depends on what they have. But as long as I keep shields up, my Lickitung is fine against their Frost. They actually body slam me here, and it does nothing. And I like a little bit, but I still get there. Absolutely disgusting. Disgusting. They have 7 Power Snow, so they have a move on their Frostlass. And they took a full smackdown there as well. I will not throw immediately yet, just in case they try to catch. Now let's see what they have in the back. I will be careful with throwing this, because if they catch like a Venu, that's very bad for me. And they actually shield that and then swap and catch. Very smart, very smart. I was afraid they would get to that avalanche, which I really didn't want, but it's fine. I'm trying to catch that Rock Slide on my Lickitung, which he doesn't fall for, but it's okay. I still have that Seed Bomb stored for the Frostlass later as well. The Frostlass should be in Seed Bomb range. My Lickitung, the best rate XL you can get, I believe, is like a rank 9. Can take 2 Earthquakes, but with the Mud Shots, it's not great. It's not great. It really isn't. Right? Because with more Mud Shots, I actually faint to this G-Fist. So, a better rank Lickitung, I believe, can do better there. But yeah, there we go. This goes out. And then we take out this Frostlass. Yeah, so there we see the dominance of Bastiodon against Lickitung, right? One of the most common save swaps at the moment. Thing is, Lickitung is also commonly paired with Medicham, which is tricky. Let's take a look at the next matchup against my Portuguese friend Jocks, who's running maybe an even bulkier team than I am with Umbreon, Cresselia, Lickitung. Then he has like one of the bulkiest flyers in Noctowl, and the bulkiest fighter, Medicham, right? G-Fist also a big counter to Bastiodon. Bastiodon doesn't have hard answers, hard praise here, right? Or hard victims, but it does beat Umbreon, Cresselia, Lickitung in neutral situations. The only thing I can take with Bastiodon here is Noctowl, really, as a hard answer, right? But we'll see. I'm gonna bring it anyway, dude. I'm gonna bring it anyway. I'm leading Medicham into their Cresselia. Horrible lead for me, probably the worst. I'm gonna try to bait out their G-Fisk with my Altaria successfully. Not sure I like there. Anyway, I actually did this in the first game as well, but I believe with a Lickitung lead to use a strategy. He then predicted Bastiodon as well, and I had something else. I'm not sure if I won that, but he predicted it, and it wasn't my Bastiodon. This time it is, so hopefully he's not gonna try to preserve this G-Fist this time, because last time he did. And if I can free my Basti here, if it's no Medi in the back, that'd be great. Obviously, Umbreon is super good for my opponent because I have no hard answer to it. Even Medi is so-so, because Umbreon is just busted. It only really hard loses to Scrafty, Obstagoon, and Charmers. Alright. In comes the Cresselia again. I'm gonna try to catch, but unsuccessfully. And here my opponent makes a massive misplay, which is throwing this move and misaligning the switch clock. So now we're gonna see the big Basti show. They throw another Grass Knot. I know that is either gonna be Noctowl or Umbreon at this point, especially if they start shooting, but it is Umbreon. So at this point, I think they're just trying to play the timeout after seeing my Basti. My Bastiodon, an absolute beast, an absolute tank that cannot be taken down easily when it's only neutral situations, is gonna put up a very good fight here. Those foul plays, they're not resisted. They're not resisted. They just don't do anything. And now that our clocks are so misaligned, I am able to swap in my Medi here, get a couple counters in. I kind of don't want to throw my move here, but I'm almost at 100 energy now. But if I throw a move, the switch clock gets misaligned even more, right? So that kind of sucks, but I'm at 100 energy here. I do want to throw that energy at some point, but yeah, now they will be able to swap. I can throw more Ice Punch into the Cresselia, misalign the timer even more, so I can swap back into my Basti. I will have to use Shield somewhere, because my opponent is playing for the switch clock now, the switch timer, right? Sorry, for the timer in general, the 5-minute timer. So I have to preserve my Pokemons. I have to preserve as much HP as possible. And Medicham, out of the 3 Pokemons, the 2 Pokemons I have left is the least bulky one. So that does need my shields here. I want to get as much chip in as possible here. They let that go. I'm at the Stone Edge here, and I will shield this move because I need to get those moves off, and I need to preserve HP. They catch the move in their Umbreon, which is fine with me, to be honest, because again, I just need the Pokemon to... I just need more Pokemons and more health. They get to the foul play. I don't think this even takes it out, to be honest. And if they need 4 Snarls, I might be able to smack them down. They need 3, and I still smack them down. Can I get to this last Stone Edge? I do, even if I didn't. Even if they threw a move to take out my Basti, I still have more health on my Medi. So them throwing that 1 charge move, actually 2 charge moves, misaligned the clock so much that my Bastiodon Medi could pull through a pretty rough hard counter matchup. All right, the 4th battle against Elite, my American friend, has double Ice and Scrafty. I really dig this line. It kind of sucks against Nidoqueen though, because basically all your Pokemon can lose to it except G-Fisk. I mean, even G-Fisk can lose if you get baited too much, but it's generally good. While Frostlass can actually get jabbed down into 2 shields, so that kind of sucks there. Let's take a look here. I lead my Swampert into their Frostlass. This is somewhat decent. I just want to win the lead and RPS in the back, but this is way too neutral. I don't want this on my Medi though, and since they have this, I don't really expect another Medi answer in the back, so I'm just gonna stay in here and then throw the Hydro Cannon. But maybe this should not be my play. Maybe if I am not expecting them to have a Medi answer in the back, I should probably just let this go, to be honest, and just use my RPS in the back. My Medi with shield advantage will probably sweep. So yeah. They use 1 shield. I'll use a shield here as well. They will win that matchup in neutral situations, but they swap into Scrafty immediately. And at this point, I'm very afraid it's a G-Fisk in the back, because they probably just tried to bait out my Medi. And without any fighting charge move, this is not even that dominant for Medi, because they will get to 2 foul plays here. My Ice Punch would not have KO'd yet. It will KO after this counter though. But look at how low they get me. Actually crazy. I won't even be able to get to a Psychic on the Frostless, which I really, really need. They let that go. Reaching for the Psychic. I may have actually reached it on Frostless, but they come with G-Fisk since I'm so low that they can actually Mudshot me down and take the resisted Psychic there, which still does more than the... What's it called? The Ice Punch, by the way. They swap in Frostless immediately. I go in Basti, and at this point, it's over. Because they baited out my my Basti again to get so much farm on the G-Fisk. I have no shields remaining. They do. So my Hydro is kind of redundant. If they come out with a Earthquake here, it's definitely over. The Flamethrower is super effective. Does about 30%. Because Bastiodon has very low attack. And it just doesn't tank Earthquakes very well, right? So there's that as well. They no-shield that. I'm trying to reach for the Sludge Wave, but they won't let me. I thought Elite was my friend. I guess we're no longer friends after this set because he 3-0'd me. I guess Bastiodon is not really allowed to sweep a tournament. But either way, I actually had fun running it, and I think it was pretty good. I got so much play out of my Trevenant there, and Trevenant is really good in neutral situations. It just felt good consistently beating Lickitung as well, because there's not many Pokemon that can do that at the moment, besides Registeel, Umbreon, and Bastiodon, I guess. And what else? Wigglytuff maybe for Lickitung? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you liked the video, even if it was me using Bastiodon, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.